out at the range with a new product from Langdon Tactical. Langdon Tactical has become pretty well known for making their M9 Berettas and doing other modifications to various Beretta handguns. And one handgun you've seen here before on the channel is my Langdon Tactical 92, which is a full-size service pistol. It has the M9 A1 frame and stainless steel barrel, Vertex slide. It has the G decocker, which is no safety. It just goes right back to fire. All those cool things, fiber optic front sight, V-notch that's serrated on the rear. But this is a full-size handgun. And a lot of people want a concealed carry handgun, myself included. So many years I've been carrying the CZP-01 because it's about the same size as a Glock 19, which really is the perfect concealed carry handgun size for many people, myself included. So Beretta has made the compact since I was a kid. My buddy had one back in the day, and Mike loved his compact, but it hasn't really gotten a whole lot of play. More people seem to like the bigger handguns like the M9A3, M9A1, or this standard M9. So Langdon decided to work their magic on this little guy. So you still have the M9A1 frame, except now it's shortened to a compact frame size, so you have a shorter grip. Instead of 17 rounds, you now have 15 rounds. You still have the hex screws and the G10 grip panels with the LTT logo in them. You have a stainless steel 4 1/4 inch barrel, same fiber optic front sight, and same rear. Of course, you can order this in different configurations as well. You don't have to get it in this configuration. This one retails for right around $9.99. You can go up and down from there depending on whatever options you select for the gun. This handgun also has a radiused trigger, so you get a deeper grip on it. It has their serrations front and back, being Langdon Tacticals. And one of the really cool features is this bobbed hammer, so you don't have a hammer spur back here for manual cocking. You have a flush hammer. So when the gun fires, it still will cock the hammer for single action mode, but just like its predecessor, when decocked, it goes off safe right back to fire, and now you have this anti-snag, really smooth area back here. But you still have that front sight where you can actually run the action of the gun off clothing, off a table, a tree, whatever you may have to do with one-handed manipulations should that happen to you. So you have the option of mounting a light, all sorts of stuff like that. You have forward slide serrations for people that like to run their guns that way. Overall, this is just a really, really nice package. Now, what you're going to find without the magazine, at least for me and my big Yeti hands, is the pinky dangles. But the gun ships with 3 magazines, and the magazines have a nice little pinky extension, so you have this nice contour, which gives the gun a very, very good grip. So these are 15-round mags. You do have an extended Langdon Tactical mag release right here. You hit that, and your magazine comes out. Today we're going to be shooting some Federal ammunition. Go ahead and make sure that that's clear. We're going to be shooting some Federal 115 grain ball, and this is sent to us by our friends over at Federal. If you'd like to pick some of this stuff up for yourself, check out 2awarehouse.com. You can find stuff like this over there, Federal and many other different brands, and they're a bunch of good folks over there. We like supporting them. So, Federal 115 grain ball, that's what we're going to be shooting this afternoon. So, we already have the magazines loaded up. I'm going to take the pistol over to the firing line, and let's see how this bad boy shoots right out of the box. So the fiber optic front sight on this thing is really, really bright. Now, I would want to do 2 things to this handgun should I decide to carry it. I can put night sights on here. You can order them from Langdon Tactical with night sights. They sent me this gun for T&E, which means I don't have any money in this gun. So that's just full disclosure. So they sent to me whatever configuration they wanted to send. If I were going to pick my options, I would put night sights on it. And then, of course, I would put a light down here on the accessory rail, and then reach out to my friends over at A&R Design, get a custom holster made for it, and then I would consider carrying this over my P01. But that front sight really is nice and bright, especially in sunlight. Even today we're really, really overcast, but still it's a nice bright orange dot. You have serrated rear sight blade there, which is really, really nice. So the double action on this thing, you can definitely tell that Langdon did their signature trigger job to this gun. I'm going to go ahead and take a 15-round magazine, insert it into the grip. It locks in nice and easily. Pull the slide to the rear, it's like butter, guys. Now we took this thing straight out of the box, haven't put any oil on it. Some of you guys give me a hard time, like, Mac, you never put oil on guns, and guns need break-in periods. These are simple machines, typically with fewer than 50 parts. If you would expect your car to stall at every stoplight, don't say, oh, there's break-in periods on cars. That's to get you to break yourself into the car. If your car stalled at every stoplight, you wouldn't be happy with it. Or if every airplane fell out of the sky until you reach 10,000 miles, you wouldn't be happy with it. And those machines are infinitely more complex than a handgun. Handgun should run right out of the box. And yes, a defensive handgun or military handgun should be able to run dry, dirty, sandy, nasty, whatever. So with that being said, let's see if the LTT Compact actually works. Okay, first shot, double action. Really nice double action trigger pull. Holy smokes, what a accurate little handgun. Now, if you guys follow the channel, you'll know that I like the M9 Beretta. I think it was absolutely ridiculous that the U.S. military went away from the M9 and adopted the SIG, not because I have anything against the SIG, it's just after 20 years of war, really, the Army wanted to spend hundreds of millions of dollars adopting a new handgun? Whatever, Army. So anyway, I've always been a fan of the Beretta because it's such a pussycat and it's such a great shooting handgun because unlike the Browning actions where you have the barrel tilting down violently before the slide comes to the rear, the Beretta, most of the mass comes straight back into your hand with a very small, lightweight locking block dropping down. And again, it's borrowed directly from the P-38 from World War II. Here's that double action trigger pull. It's long, but very smooth and light, not stagey at all. Wow, what a smooth shooting little gun. I mean, geez, puts them in the same spot. We're shooting at a challenge target, and what's interesting about that target, I don't know if the microphone's picking it up, but on this challenge target, if you hit in this area, it makes a different sound than hitting here. So this is a little bit more of a harmonic ring, and this is more of a dead thud. So it gives you audio feedback when you actually hit it in a certain area of the target. So what a nice shooting handgun, guys. Let's load up some more magazines, do some more shooting with the handgun, and then, yeah, I'll tell you what I finally think of it. But if it continues to work like this, I'm gonna love it. The compact pistol, which I have here, is close enough to its full-size brother that you will be able to use the compact in the same holsters that you might have for your full-size LTT, which again is a service-sized handgun. So this Safariland holster that I'm wearing, you can see that this drops in, the retention system works, thumb release. It works just fine. So there is that benefit, but honestly, if you're going to go with a compact, you're going to want to go with a shorter holster, especially if you carry appendix style, because it's going to be that much less likely to poke you in the nether regions. Dig around here in my back pocket. So one of the questions you guys are probably going to have is, what about full-size grips? So if full-size magazines. So if I take the magazine out of my full-size and insert it into the compact, now you can see the length difference in the grip. You can use these. Of course, the shorter magazines won't work in the full-size, but the full-size magazines will work in the smaller handgun. So I'll go ahead and load up some of that 124 grain Federal Syntech. And that magazine works just fine. So, yeah, I like this stumpy little guy. You'll notice it has that M9 A1 front trigger guard there. I always liked the way the old ones looked, where they were rounded before it became fashionable to butt lights up against them. But I do want to put a light on it, so it makes more sense. Very, very smooth handgun. Such a beautiful piece of work. Field stripping the LTT is pretty much like field stripping any other 92 series Beretta out there on the market. First, you're just going to want to make sure that the weapon's clear. And once it's clear, you're going to push a button with your index finger right here. Push that button in, rotate your disassembly lever down, and without pulling the trigger, you can separate the two halves of the pistol. Here we have a non-captive but steel guide rod. So in the newer Berettas, like the M9, you're going to find a polymer guide rod and a polymer trigger. In this gun, you have a stainless steel trigger and a steel guide rod that's non-captive. And then taking the inside out, just pinch this whole group here. Pinch the two, because you want to hit this button. Pinch and lift up, and that's it. You can clean the gun from there. Putting it back together, just reverse the process. Push your locking block down so that little dimple sticks out. Take your recoil spring and guide rod. Set it on the perch. Slide the two assemblies back together. Pull it all the way to the rear, lock it, flip the switch, and your handgun's reassembled. The muzzle of that gun does not move as I pull the double action. And that means it has a very, very nice double action, like something you'd find in an early Smith & Wesson revolver. Go ahead and load it up with some more 115 grain Federal, decock it, and that first shot is very easy to make. So smooth. It shoots smoother than my CZ. And again, I attribute that to the fact how the action of the gun works. Start off with double action. Notice how smoothly I can pull that trigger back to the rear. Decock it again. Very smooth and purring like a kitten with no lubrication on the gun whatsoever except whatever it came with out of the box from the factory. See some lithium grease back there in the back. I love that sight picture. Boy, that is easy to pick up. That's for sure. The controls I like. One of the things that you'll find with some handguns, especially with me, how I shoot, it's easy to ride that slide stop with your thumb, and then the gun won't lock open the last shot fired, then you get click, no bang. With the Beretta and the CZ, I don't have that problem. You can see how my thumbs naturally sit, and I don't have that issue at all. Now, that's for me. Not everybody's built like I am, and some of you may actually have a problem. It's totally up to you whether or not this gun's going to work for you ergonomically, but for me, I've always liked the way the Beretta felt. For $999, which is about the same price as an M9A3, you can have a highly customized 92 Elite LTT compact pistol like this one here. Now again, they start off at $999. Depending on what options you choose, the price goes up from there all the way up to right around 1,500 bucks. But the handgun in general is extremely well made, exceptionally reliable. When you get it, when you first take it out of the box and you run that action, you're going to know you have a quality handgun. I really, really like the pistol. I'm really glad that they did a compact version. I've been carrying around the full size in that Safari Land holster here around the property. This thing would make a nice concealed carry appendix style handgun. So to do that, I will want to swap out the sights, put something with night sights on here, and I will put a light on it, and then reach out again to my friends over at A&R Design, get a holster for it. But yeah, do I think it's worth it? I do. But there are other lower cost options out there on the market. This is definitely a higher end handgun for those of you out there looking for a concealed carry handgun. Guys, if you'd like to support us here at the Military Arms channel to try to bring you the most complete, unbiased as humanly possible information about new firearms on the market, consider becoming a Patreon supporter. We don't take money from the gun companies. We are supported by you, our viewers. Also, swing by and check us out at coppercustom.com. Thanks for 11 years of support. We'll talk to you guys soon. I like that smooth face trigger. What would a range session be without a few mag dumps? Talk to you guys soon.